Yes, yes, yes. Hello one, hello all, it's the gothiest ghost of them all, Casper in the flesh, and it's still list week, and we are listing off my favorite EPs of 2024, my top 15 favorite EPs of 2024, little tiny albums, tiny albums. So yeah, let's just get into it. At number 15, Franek, Warzya, and Mlody Budda. I hope I'm saying that right. I struggle to pronounce their names, but nevertheless, it is the Komputer EP. And these two, if you recall, had one of my favorite EPs of 2023. Definitely had an EP that had me blown away, with a lot of wacky, off the wall, and honestly very outside the box music. And they're continuing to do that here. And if you consider yourself a hyperpop fan, someone that loves humor in their music, along with breakcore and electropop, I could definitely see you digging this, because I dig it. And you may also check familiar samples that are put in here. One of them being Death Grips, and I'll let you decide which track. But yeah, excellent EP. Check it out if you haven't. And yeah, at number 14, I caught these guys live and had the pleasure of actually getting the live experience of them at the Outer Space Ballroom in Hamden. I'm talking about Intercourse with their brand new EP, Egyptian Democracy. These guys are a heavy mix of noise rock and hardcore punk. Like, they can get very sludgy and very pissed off. They're a very pissed off band, but they add humor to the mix as well. They're also very cheeky on topics of capitalism, which obviously they're pissed at, but they do share humor with their plight. All mixed with a good blend of aggression and rage. And the transitions from track to track are sick too, so hell yeah to Intercourse. Also from CT, at number 13, I'm talking about Foxtails with their brand new EP. And if you recall, they dropped a fantastic album in 2022, bringing a great blend of post-rock, chamber folk, chamber music with beautiful poeticism, with harrowing screamed vocals, along with beautiful sung vocals as well. You could tell like this comes from a very tortured place, but they definitely balance out the beautiful harmonies with the out-of-control shredded vocals. I love it. Big up to CT, big up to Foxtails. Check it out. At number 12, it's Chelsea Wolfe with Unbound. Not only delivering a fantastic LP, She Who Reaches Out to She Reaches Out to She. Yeah, that's a very continuous album title. Great album, but man, that album title could go on forever. But also bringing a very fantastic EP of acoustic renditions of those songs, or a handful of those songs off that album, showing that Chelsea could be dark and brooding and cavernous, but also deliver it to you in a very intimate piano and acoustic way. And also showing her lyrics and her voice could also be haunting, whether you have the massive, colossal darkness surrounding her or just acoustic and piano. She could haunt you either way. At number 11, we have The Garden with 6 desperate ballads, which these ballads are. The last time we got a full length from these guys was actually back in 2022. Which was Horseshit on Route 66. Yeah, that's the title. I'm not calling their album Horseshit. It was actually pretty good. But now we're back with the EP that sounds like it was recorded in the most dingiest, grimiest, drug-soaked basement, with some chaotic post-punk and synth-punk tracks, with a lot of tripped-out, apathetically soaked lyrics, and very despondent topics, with a lot of consistency, great production, stellar playing and performances, and honestly the best thing The Garden has dropped as a project, honestly. It's a great collection of tracks, definitely mirroring acts like The Clash, but also a meeting of King Cruel, JPEG Mafia, Death Grips, definitely getting experimental on here as well. So yeah, sick EP, check it out. At number 10, we have Bon Iver with Sable, with a handful of chamberfolk tracks from singer-songwriter Justin Vernon. And I understand it's 4 tracks, but honestly, probably the best thing that Justin has dropped. Like, honestly, the best in his catalog. With really beautiful indie folk, and very personal, introspective songwriting, and a lush, dreamy set of acoustic tracks that I just found myself being enamored by. So, great job, Justin. At number 9, Show Me the Body, Corpus 2. And Show Me the Body had a debut album that I loved. I thought they were a great hardcore punk noise band. But I haven't really been head over heels for anything that came after that. But this EP right here is definitely a hard-hitting one. And definitely an interesting collection of different artists popping on here. From bands to rappers, even art pop artists spelling. Yes, that's spelling. So I hope to hear a cohesive LP from them again in the near future, fingers crossed. That's as hard-hitting and as adventurous as this. I mean, maybe not as feature-heavy, who knows, but just a great project. Corpus 3, let's go. At number 8, my favorite metal EP of the year, well, of 2024. Which, given the tracks here, it's kind of odd to call this a metal EP, because it's not all the way metal, but I feel it's a great blend of black gaze, slowcore, post-metal. Yep, talking about agriculture, living is easy. That really does take you on a ride, especially with how much of an anthemic burst of ferocity that the title track has. Like, there's so much power and beauty in it. It's honestly the equivalent of the black metal national anthem. And then following that up with a slowcore track that's reminiscent to me of classic Microphones. And that track being Eaten by a Tiger, which really repeats the same sentiments of nature, accepting death, living life. And I feel like this is kind of a marriage of something rapid, but also something serene as well. Like how it goes from rapid, intense, with a lot of ferocity, to meditative and minimal, but also very moving. So I'm wondering if they could even things out once again on the LP. We'll find out. At number 7, another EP I feel tops the genre that it's going for. I would say it's a soul EP from soul singer Baby Rose and Canadian instrumental band Badbadnotgood with Slow Burn. And man, I don't really put a face to tracks, but her vocals, man, like looking at her, you would not expect this particular voice from that face. Like her voice in general, like her singing voice just sounds so seasoned. It sounds so vintage and soaked with soul. Like they're quivering, they're lispy, but they have so much beauty to them and such an earnest sound to them. They actually remind me a little bit of Nina Simone a bit. Like, I could not believe the vocals were coming from this woman, who's actually younger than I am, but sounds like she's been singing since the 70s or the late 60s. And funny thing is, like the reverb, the effects, and with her vocal cadence and how Badbadnotgood capture the essence sonically. Like it almost sounds like I'm listening to a haunting of that era. But yeah, amazing EP, very passionate and stunning variations of different facets of soul. So please listen to this one. At number 6, Marina SATTI, who is an artist that I've just heard about last year, with some of the most off-the-wall experimental Greek music I've probably ever heard. Loaded with grooves, really corked up. And honestly, I feel with a few more tracks, this could have been an album. But this is definitely packed with a lot of left turns, in an amazing way, of course. There are some glitchy moments, there's definitely effects here, but it still feels very raw. It has a raw feel to it. And it reminds me of MIA in her debut. And there's a 10-minute multifaceted epic on here you should definitely check out. I mean, you should check out the EP, but make sure you don't skip that one. that takes on different elements that are woven in here. But there's also multiple styles on this EP too, especially folk music, but has an insane club quality to it. It's very zany. I love the energy. I love the passion. I love the quirkiness. And it's so overpowering, like it could actually be very overwhelming. But it's an amazing experience, and you should definitely check it out. Great melodies, great deconstructed club rhythms, sick foreign folk samples, and a very unique voice. You really can't go wrong with this one. At number 5, BX, singer, songwriter, Amore, with Roses Are Red, Tears Are Blue. Definitely an excellent addition to her fantastic sophomore album, Fountain Baby, that I absolutely loved, reviewed very positively. And I feel these added tracks are really great tracks that if this was added to the actual album, I wouldn't mind at all. I feel Amore's cutesy, otherworldly vocals are great. Melodies, grooves, production, still amazing. And if you're a fan of Afrobeat, highly recommend this. Check this out. Do not miss it. At number 4, it's Frost Children and Haru Nemuri, Soul Kiss. And they do not sound out of place at all. Showcasing a lot of vigorous beats, noisy but great electronic melodies, electronic bangers, live guitar and drums. Fantastic EP. Fantastic EP. At number 3, we have UK band Ugly with Twice Around the Sun, which I actually reviewed on this channel and had to keep reminding myself this is an EP, because listening to this, it sounds so tight, it sounds robust. And given the length of it, it definitely runs as an album, even if it is at 6 tracks. And unfortunately, there's no release of an album from them currently. There's no telling of when they're going to release a full-length LP. But nevertheless, it's a great set of tracks. Very bright, but they can also get kind of dark, as this album is Twice Around the Sun. So of course you're getting the dichotomy of the light and the dark with great progression, great vocal chemistry, and they do share a great blend of influences from Dirty Projectors, Fleet Foxes, Richard Dawson, or even Black Country New Road. So yeah, I think their songwriting is great, massive group melodies, along with fantastic vocal arrangements, along with great, very progressive, multifaceted builds. And it's very bass guitar and vocal heavy, very drum heavy. There are some great guitar melodies too, but really instrumentally, the bass, the vocals, and the drums all play in this beautiful syncopation that just left me astonished. And obviously the writing is great too, along with, of course, great playing and gratifying hooks. So check this out. At number 2, we're at number 2. Alice Longyu Gao, Assembling Symbols into Poetry. I feel like these tracks are so good. They're so friggin' good. And she's doing more pop stuff this time around. It's definitely lighter than her last EP. Like, it's definitely more of a pop project, a dance-centric project. I think the grooves, hooks, her production are definitely great. It's certainly less visceral. It's certainly less experimental than her last EP, which was actually my favorite EP of 2023. But she's really stepped away from that, giving us really sweet, tender ballads that are very adorable. Absolute bangers that I cannot get out of my head. I like girls. I like Korean girls. Like, she's focusing more on melody, beauty, texture, lyrics. Like, this is definitely her most accessible. If I was to give this to someone, to put someone onto Alice Longyu Gao, this would be it. So she's trying new things and it sounds great. Like, it's definitely working for her. And a great feature from extraordinary rapper, Detroit rapper, legend Danny Brown. So yeah, check this out if you haven't, and let me know what you think. At number 1, it's number 1, my favorite EP of the year. It's Maruha, Connla's Well, which their last EP ranked pretty high in my EP list of 2023, with some very haunting, dark, tortured music here that they're certainly bringing with instrumentation, some very harrowing poetry. Like, the vocals are so theatrical and pained. I honestly feel like this is the ghost of a past that I've had where he has gone back and he is haunted in that time period and he's warning me about something. He is definitely telling me about something ominous that's about to come. That is the vibe I get from him. It's so theatrical and it just makes me hang on every word he's saying. Not only that, but how dizzying and hypnotic and entrancing and dark the horns are, and how they also create grooves on some of these tracks. Like, it's very dense. It's these dark, dense melodies that's very cavernous. It's really intense. And a majority of it is pretty much staying strong, staying true to oneself under capitalism, under harsh times. There's definitely something very standout about the instrumentation too. Like, not only is frontman Harry Wilkinson a fantastic vocalist and guitarist, but man, the horn lines on here, the grooves they create, and the closer here is just so beautiful and epic. I just am enamored by it. But yeah, this thing is just, it really is proving that they have a knack for making the music sound like the cover art. Very dark, very dismal, not promising. It's just very desolate and hopeless. But in that hopelessness, there's beauty. There's like something in it. There's something very beautiful in the haunting and the heroism of this project. And I love it. Great post-rock. Great post-rock project. And fantastic lyricism too. But that's it. Those are my 15 EPs of 2024. Let me know your favorite EPs of 2024 in the D-Box. I am Caspa. I am your plug. Hit me with a sub. Show me love. Caspa, Gothic Ghost, top 15 EPs of 2024. Till we meet again.